this lesson you're going to learn how to find and add similar products to our primary products list. Okay, so here we are back at our list. Now what I've done is I went through and did a lot more searches and I've added 10 products in total. Now it's very important to realize that I've done this in such a way as we're going to have some that match our criteria and some that don't, so that you can see examples of both. Now when you start doing this, you are not going to get as many successful ones each time you do it. And that is a key aspect that you always need to bear in mind and comes from our mindset. You are going to have to repeat this process probably many times before you get the products that you want. One other thing to note is that I only went down a few pages in the searches for these primary products. When you do this, you want to go much further down the page lists to make sure that you don't miss any good opportunities. And the best way to do this is to stick to one category at a time and obviously target categories and subcategories that closely match your lists of passions, interests and hobbies. But what we're actually going to do in this lesson is we're going to find our similar or secondary products. With that in mind, I've added some columns to our list. As you can see, I've added keyword. This is simply the word or words used to find the product. BSR, this is the BSR of our primary product. URL2 and BSR2 are the URL and BSR of the first similar product we add. And similarly, URL3 and BSR3 are the URL and BSR of our second similar product. So with all that in mind, let's go start searching and adding our similar products. So the first product, I'm going to copy the URL, open a new tab in Chrome and paste it in and go. Now the first thing you're going to do, I'm only going to show this in this first example to save time, but the first thing you do is you want to scroll down to product details and make a note of the BSR rank and the top level category. Once you've done that, go back to your file and put it in there. I'm actually going to show you the examples, find the similar products, and then go back and fill in the file, but you can do this as you go. Now for this product, I'm looking at the title, and what we're looking for is the keyword to use. The keyword is what somebody would use to find this product. In other words, if they were interested in finding this product, what would they type into the search bar? So in our example, we've got muscle stick, massage roller, but I also know massage roller more applies to the foam roller type of product. So I'm actually going to use massage stick. But the interesting thing here is that Amazon will actually help you. So open a new tab in Amazon. I'm going to type in massage and you see straight away it's giving you all these examples. And you'll see roller here. But remember, roller isn't our product. What we're actually looking at is stick. And you can see it is something that is searched for because it comes up with suggestions. And what we want to do is we want to search all departments, not the top level category for these similar products. So all I need to do here is click on massage stick in all departments. And there you go. We've got the search page for all products related to massage stick. Now for most of these search pages, you're going to see the first result or results are actually sponsored. You see here where it says sponsored. What this means is this is an ad. And for the most part, we're going to ignore these because this is normally sellers who aren't ranking very well, who are using ads to get on the first page. So we're going to scroll down and go past the first two. Now the whole method here is we are looking to find two similar products to our primary product that fall inside our BSR range for similar products. And you can find those ranges in the download. But essentially, if we find a product that has a lower number than our range, for instance, our range starts at 500. So if we find a product that's at basically less than 500, then we're probably going to avoid that product because it means there's a product that ranks a lot higher and has higher competition, and we want to avoid that kind of product. Similarly, if we don't find two similar products in the range, in other words, they fall outside it, they have numbers like 10,000, 11,000, or basically any higher number than our range, then again we're going to skip that product. But you'll get the idea when we go through more examples. So this first product that comes up is 641 in health and personal care. Now we know straight away that this is outside of the range in health and personal care because it starts at 1,000. So this is a product we would avoid. So unfortunately, the first product we've looked at doesn't fall within our BSR range. So I'm going to close the tab, go back to our file, highlight the product, and delete it. So let's move on to the next one. I'm going to copy the URL, paste it into our browser, and if you remember, this is the stainless steel salt and pepper grinder set from the primary products lesson. So you would scroll down, grab the BSR number for this product, and then we're just going to decide on the keyword. So we want to put stainless steel in there and salt and pepper and probably grinder. So we open a new tab and type in the keyword, and straight away you'll notice they're showing us some examples. Now the first two that show up above the line are shakers. Now this isn't really a shaker, it's a grinder. You can see it shows up here. So what you can do, type in grinder, and it's showing grinder set. I'm not too concerned about having set in the keyword. So instead of clicking on this link underneath, I'm just going to hit the search button. And there we go. We've got our search page for stainless steel salt and pepper grinder. Again, we're going to scroll down, ignore the two sponsored lists, and you see the first result is 1224. Now we are looking for the two best ranking similar products. So we make a mental note of 1224, or you can write it down, and then we scroll down and look at some more examples. The next one is 6553, so that's outside our range, so we're going to ignore that one. But the next one is 1075. So we've made a mental note of that one, and we'll go down to the next one. The next one is 6553, which is outside our range, so we're going to ignore that one. The next one is actually our primary product, so we don't want to record that one, obviously. Go down to the next one, and we've got 1758 in kitchen and dining, which obviously again is inside our range. So make a note of that, and we now have two similar products that have BSRs inside the range. So all we want to do is carry on searching to see if we can find one or two that actually are better ranked than these two. The next one's 4675, obviously that's not as well ranked. 2839 again, it's not as well ranked. And we've got 1790. Keep going, 2494, 8248, 3926, 4446, 3518, 9013, 2251, and 7014. So we've got our two similar products. All you need to do now is go and record those. But before we do that, you should always go to the second page and check for anomalies. I'm not doing it for this lesson because it will just make the lesson far too long, but you do exactly the same thing. You go to the second page, you go through the listings and see if there are any similar products that have a better ranking than the two we've found, or if there are any that are actually too high a ranking. In other words, their number is below 500 for kitchen and dining, for example. But let's go back up to that first one we found. So just like we did with the primary products, all you need to do is right click on the title, copy the link address, then go to the file and paste it in to the correct spot. Now I'm going to go ahead and do this for both similar products, and then we'll go back and have a look at the file. Okay, so as you can see, I've filled in the boxes for the salt and pepper grinder. I've filled in the keyword, the BSR of the primary product, and I filled in the URL and BSRs for the two similar products. So let's take a look at the next one. Again, we're going to paste URL into the browser window, and you can see it's a coffee grinder. So you would scroll down, find the BSR for this product, and put it into our file. But let's look at the keyword. So we know it's coffee grinder. We've also got stainless steel. So the stainless steel is going to distinguish this kind of product from other similar coffee grinders. And I also know that if I search coffee grinder, it's going to bring up electric coffee grinders, which we don't want because you can see this is a manual coffee grinder. So I'm going to open a new tab in Amazon and type in stainless steel manual. You can see it's showing as coffee grinder. So if I add that, and here you go, it's showing in all departments. So we just click on it. Now if you ever try a keyword and it's not showing in all departments, you just hit the search button on the right. It does exactly the same thing. Okay, so it's loaded our search page. Once again, we're going to ignore the two sponsored results. And the first one you can see is way outside the range. It's way too high a number, so we're going to ignore that one. Scroll down to the next one, and we've got 1031, which falls inside our BSR range, so we're going to make a mental note of that one. I'm going to scroll down. We've got 3452, which also falls within our range, but I'm pretty sure we'll find one that's better. Scroll down a bit further and we've got 1300. And remember, this is in our top level category, kitchen and dining. So we keep scrolling down. I'm not seeing any BSR numbers that are better than the two we've just found. This one here at 1565 is our primary product, so we would ignore that anyway. But this actually brings up an interesting thing, and that is that the primary product you find might not always be a better BSR rank than the similar products, but that is nothing to worry about. So we keep going down, and I'm not seeing anything that is better than we've already got, apart from here. As I mentioned, it's brought up an electric grinder, even though we put manual in. But because it's electric, it's totally different from our product, so we ignore that result. Now, once again, you would go to page 2 and do exactly the same thing on that page, but for the sake of this lesson, I'm not going to go into another page because we just end up with too long a video. So I would scroll back and once again, right-click on the title, copy the link address, and go and put that into your file. I'm going to pause the video and go and fill out the boxes for this product, and then we can take a look at that file. Okay, so once again, I've filled in all the boxes. Now, if you get this situation where the BSR for one of the similar products is actually better than your primary product, then you can always switch them around. In other words, you can take the URL of the similar product and put it in the primary product column, and then move that URL into your similar products. So when we come to evaluate, it's easier because we've got the highest ranking product as the primary product. But let's go look at the next example. So we'll copy the URL, paste it into our browser, and I'm actually going to close this other tab. And here we have the adjustable mandolin slicer. So once again, you'd scroll down, grab the BSR for this product. The keyword in this case is pretty self-explanatory. It's mandolin slicer. So I'm going to open a new tab in Amazon and type it in. And once again, we're searching in all departments, not in any subcategory. And we've got our search page. And what you'll notice is it's actually gone into the home and kitchens category. But we want all departments. So where it says show instead results in all departments, we're going to click on all departments. Okay, so we scroll down, we ignore the two sponsored ones. And the first product is actually our primary product, which is cool. Keep going down. But the very next product is 425 in kitchen dining. Now, when it comes to BSR ranges, at the lower end, in other words, where it is a better rank, you can allow for up to 10%. So in kitchen and dining, our range starts at 500 and 10% is 50. So we could actually, at a push, go as far as 450. This is still outside that range. And in fact, if we look at the next product, it's actually 369 in kitchen and dining, which is far too competitive. So this product is another one that we'd skip. But just going back briefly to what I said about allowing for 10%. If you find a product you really like and it matches all your passions and interests, or maybe it's even involved in one of your hobbies, then you can allow for that 10% and an absolute push a little bit more. But what you want to avoid is creep. In other words, you want to avoid saying, oh, well, it's 440, it's okay. And then the next time, well, I did one at 440, so why not 420, and so on. So you just need to be very careful. And we only use that 10% leeway at the lower end of the range. In other words, if the top end of the range was 5,000, we don't suggest going to 5,500. But as I said, this product unfortunately is not going to match. So I'm going to close the tab, go back to our file, highlight it, and delete it. Now, as I said, you're going to get a lot of this. When you do your searching, you're going to get a lot of products that you're going to delete. Don't let that phase you. Don't let that slow you down. Just continue searching. And again, always make sure you go down the pages. Don't just go the first 4 or 5 and think, oh, that's far enough. You can and will find products as far down as the 20th page and even more. So it is a painstaking process, but it's a very important process, and you just need to keep on it and keep doing it. But let's move on to the next product. Now this one is marshmallow roasting sticks, and you'll actually notice that it's appearing in Patio Lawn and Garden. So when you record the BSR in your file, you want to make sure that the category in the file says Patio Lawn and Garden, so that when it comes to comparing products, you know which category you're in. So once you've got the BSR, the keyword is pretty self-explanatory in this one, marshmallow roasting sticks. So we open a new tab and type in marshmallow roasting sticks. Now you can see it's giving us extendable and telescoping. I'm not even sure that's a word, but we're going to stick with marshmallow roasting sticks. So we click on the link in all departments. Okay, we're going to scroll down and ignore the two sponsored and go down to the first organic. By organic, I mean it's not an ad. And again, the first product that shows up is 397 in kitchen dining, which is too high a ranking for our kitchen and dining BSR range. So it's going to be too competitive. So we're actually going to leave it. I'm going to close the tab, go back to our file, and we're going to delete that one. So without wasting any more time, let's go check the next one. Now this is our sleep mask. You'll actually notice that this is a different type of listing. It's formatted differently, and Amazon are continually testing this kind of thing. But for our purposes, it makes no difference. But you would scroll down, grab the BSR, and this one again, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's sleep mask. Open a new tab in Amazon, type in sleep mask, and then we click on the in all departments. As usual, we're going to skip the first two sponsored listings and take a look at the first organic one. Wow. Okay, this is 84 in health and personal care. Health and personal care is one of the biggest categories there is. So the fact that it's 84 in that category means it's incredibly competitive. And it's not something we would want to go after for our first product. So I don't need to go any further. I know straight away that this one is not going to work. So I'm going to close the tab, go back to our file, and delete that one. Okay, let's move to our next product. Okay, and it's a magnetic knife holder. So scroll down, grab the BSR. The keyword again is pretty self-explanatory. It's a magnetic knife holder. So we're going to open a new tab and type in magnetic knife holder, and we're going to click on the all departments. Okay, we've got no sponsored ads for this one. So let's take a look. And this first one, it's 654 in kitchen and dining, which is obviously within our range. So we make a note of it. The next one is 3112, which also falls in our range. But let's see if we can find one that's better than that. So far, no. But here we've got one at 2789, but that's actually our primary product. Keep on scrolling down, 2605, and we'll keep on going. Just keep on going. Okay, and we haven't got anything better. Once again, you can go to the next page, but I'm just going to record those two. I'm not going to go through copying the link because you know how to copy the link. I'm going to pause the video, put the information into our file, and go to our file. Okay, so here we are back at our file. I've filled all the boxes in. We've got a situation where our similar product has a better ranking than our primary product. So we'd swap this similar product with this primary product and just switch them around. But let's go to the next example. So we're going to paste it in to Chrome. Going to delete this tab. We don't need it anymore. And we've got our next one to test. Now it's a stainless steel travel mug. So the keyword is very obvious. Don't forget to get your BSR, or you can actually wait till you've done the search because it might save you a few seconds if the product isn't viable. But you can see it's coming up straight away in all departments with handle. I don't think that's anything I'd want to add. There's nothing else I'd really want to add here. It's just sizes. So I'm going to click on all departments. And we're back to having sponsored ads. I'm going to scroll past those two and let's take a look at the first one. So the first one is 473 in kitchen and dining. Now that does fall outside the range, but remember, we did say if it was a product we're really interested in, then we would allow 10%, and this would fall within the 10%. So I'm going to make a note of it, but let's go and see if there are any others that fall outside that range. The next product is 956, so again, a mental note, we now have two similar products. 11,400, obviously outside of the range, but here we go, we've got another one. This is actually 204 in kitchen and dining. So it's far too competitive. So we've actually got two products that are showing up with too high a ranking. So we wouldn't go for this product. So I'm going to close the tab, going to go back to our file, and we're going to delete it. And without waiting, we're going to go and check the next product. And it's an electric wine opener. Can't think of anything that could be a better keyword than that because that is pretty much what anyone's going to type in if they're looking for an electric wine opener. So I'm going to open an Amazon search in a new tab again. I'm going to type it into the search box. I don't see any better keyword, so we're going to click on search. Okay, for this one we've only got one sponsored ad, so let's scroll past it. And our first product straight away, 67 in kitchen and dining. It's far too a competitive product to go for our first product. So unfortunately, it's another one we've lost. So I'm going to close the tab, we're going to go back, and we're going to delete it. Now what you need to bear in mind is, I've said it before and I just want to reiterate it, you're going to have to do this a lot. You are going to get a lot of results that you're going to have to delete. But once you've mastered these first few lessons on exactly how to do the whole process, you will be able to do it all at once. So it will be faster. So again, don't be put off. Let's go take a look at our last example. This is a stop snoring chin strap. I've never actually seen a chin strap for snoring before. So we'll open a new tab in Amazon. And I've actually typed in snoring strap. We could have put chin in, but let's just see what snoring strap brings up. Okay, so the first result is 535 in beauty. Now that actually does fall inside the beauty BSR range, so that one's fine. So we make a note of that number. So the next one is 8080 in health and personal care. We're going to scroll past that one. We've got one of 4631 in health and personal care, which is actually inside the range. We're going to keep going to see if we can find a better ranked one. We've got 6457. There we go. We've got a 2011 in health and personal care. So that's become our second similar product. 5,000, 37,000, 8,000, 20,000, 6,000, 22,000, 58,000, 3,000. The other one's still winning. And we're all the way to the bottom. Remember, always go and check the next page. But it looks like we've got another viable product. So I'm going to go and copy the links and the BSR numbers. And we'll go back to our file. So I've filled in the boxes for our last product. And remember, the 535 in beauty, it's a different category. So just highlight it in a different color so that it reminds you to check that. And even though this is in a smaller category than health and personal care, it still would rank higher than our primary product. So we'd switch them around. So that's the end of our examples. But what you need to do here is you need to carry on with this process. You need to keep going through the process of finding primary products and then evaluating them for similar products. And before moving on to the next stage, you really want to have at least 10 so that we've got a decent number to go and evaluate. And while this will be time consuming, you will be able to find 10 quite easily. You just need to make sure that when you're doing those searches that you don't just restrict it to a few pages of the search results. Keep going deeper and deeper to make sure you don't miss anything. In the next video, we're going to be taking a look at reviews and adding that to our file. But that's it for this lesson. Take care.